for anyone who's watching this episode, I'm
Tell me,
about to
bro.
fuck up your childhood. Welcome to Expired Optimism, where real conversations meet real people. Today I have a special guest. I've been following this guy ever since he had maybe single-digit followers on TikTok. And I'm going to let Caesar introduce himself.
What's going on, man? Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you for the awesome intro you gave me. My name is Caesar. I am a physical media content creator on TikTok, and I love my passion, bro. Is collecting movies. I've been doing it since I was a child. So this is an awesome episode I'm gonna do with you, brother, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to bring out my physical media love, out there.
So I got one big question for you, okay? I could easily ask you, why is it important to collect physical media? But I want to know, why is it important to you to collect physical media? Not just why it's important. I want to know why it's important to you to collect the physical media that you collect.
Bro, it's because, look, like when you stream, they take off a lot that is in the movie. You know what I mean? So when you have the physical copy is yours. Everything that's a part of the movie is in there. You got special features, you got bloopers, you got behind the scenes, you got all this awesome, stuff they put out. So, and another thing that's important to me too about me loving physical media, bro, is that I used to do when I used to, it brings back memories when I was younger, because I used to collect the VHS with my pops, and just having a physical copy, bro, is literally like words can't describe how nice it have, how nice it feels to have it with you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the important stuff that I love about physical media.
See, what I love about physical media is because where I live out in the middle of nowhere. I live out, not necessarily out in the woods, but I live far away from like the city. Like whenever I
Yeah,
have to go to Walmart, I always tell people like I got to go into town. And
yeah,
it's funny. I go outside. I sit on a patio, and all you hear is crickets, and it's so peaceful.
bro,
But
that's the best.
one of the worst parts about living where I live is that all it takes is for one tree to fall down, and AT&T Uverse internet is out, and AT&T is in no hurry to fix the internet. So if you rely on Hulu, Netflix,
Uh,
if you don't have internet, you don't have shit to watch. So the best part about having physical media is you can just pop in a DVD and watch whatever you want to watch, and you're not having to rely on digital content. And like you said, you don't get the special features, and sometimes I'll watch a movie on Hulu and I don't pay for the subscription, the no ad subscription. So I pay for, so like every 15 minutes you might get like 3 minutes worth of ads. So with the
oh,
physical media, you can have it to where you can watch the movie from start to finish. You can see the extended cut. You can see the bonus scenes or the deleted scenes, and that's why I think it's so important, because something like a tree falling 2 blocks away from me, and then AT&T can't fix the internet for 7 hours. We rely so much on our cell phones to keep us occupied, so I can just pull out my huge DVD book and put on Superbad and be occupied for 2 hours.
bro, exactly, bro. You're spot on right there, bro. Because look, let me tell you something. Back in the day, bro, we didn't have the cell phones. We didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? We relied
Yes.
on the physical copy. We went to Hollywood Video, Blockbuster. The retro, bro, the retro is in my blood, bro.
Yes.
Literally, like, it's in my blood. Like, I love having my own physical copy of a movie, because what I live on is, I don't believe in, of course, I have subscriptions for my kids for their Disney Plus
Yes.
and all that stuff, and my wife's her shows. But me, bro, I'm not into the streaming. With all due respect, I know a lot of people out there love streaming and all this stuff, but just just try it out. try it out. Try the physical copy. I know it's a little pricey, man, but it's the best thing in the long run because, like you said, people depend on the internet. And what happens when the internet goes down? You know what I mean? When the snow or the rain turns off your internet, what are you gonna do now? We all love movies.
Exactly. There's just something special about just picking out a movie. This is what we're doing tonight, especially when you have your kids and not necessarily the new movies that come out right now, but it's like we're gonna watch Honey I Shrunk the Kids. We're gonna sit down in the living room and we're just gonna put on Honey I Shrunk the Kids. We're gonna make some frozen pizza. We got some Pepsi in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah,
This is what we're doing tonight. Everybody's putting their cell phones down. And you can watch, and the thing is, you can actually watch a movie on DVD faster than you can watch a movie on a streaming service. Because sometimes, you know, like I said, there's some streaming services where an ad will pop up every 10 minutes, or you might get just bad internet service where 13 minutes it'll start buffering and it'll freeze up. But with physical media, DVDs, you can just pop it in and you'll probably be able to watch that movie a whole lot faster than you would if you were watching it on Max or Netflix or Hulu or Peacock or
yeah,
Paramount.
exactly, bro. And the way you said about watching it faster, you do because for example, you're watching a movie on Hulu or Peacock or whatever, and the ads pop up, and sometimes you can't go back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go back sometimes because it's loading and it's loading and it's loading when your internet is slow.
Yes.
And there's been times before I started doing physical, there was times that I had like a little small DVD collection, and I'm like, damn man, I only have, for example, I have Malcolm X and Mr. D's and Treasure Planet, but I want to watch Get Out. Let me put in the HBO Max. This is an experience that happened. Let me put it on the HBO Max. I had a little small collection back then, back in
Yes.
2017. And man, I was trying to watch Get Out, bro, and it took me a while because our internet service was slow. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I have the movie Get Out, I can watch it whenever I want, bro. I got
Exactly. So I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So from 2009 to probably about May of 2012,
yeah,
I was actually a bail bondsman. Like that's a lifetime ago. I was actually a bail bondsman and fugitive recovery agent.
yeah,
That's like I never really talk about it mainly because it's so long ago and I was only doing that for a couple years. But the shift that I worked Monday through Thursday overnight. So I got to my office at 5 o'clock in the evening and I stayed at my office till 8 o'clock in the morning. So I worked 15 hours every night, Monday through Thursday. And
yeah.
with that line of the work, um, it's not really busy on Monday, Tuesdays. You get most of your clients on Wednesday and Thursdays. So sometimes on like a Monday or Tuesday, I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything but just sitting in my office. So what I used to do is on my way to my office, I used to pass Walmart. And I used to go every single Tuesday. And I used to just wipe out all the new releases because the new releases would come out on Tuesday. And
Tuesday,
this
yeah.
and
Blues
this
Day
was
Tuesday.
before I got married and had a kid. Um, I would go to Walmart, and if there was like four movies coming out, boom, 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 I just buy all four of the new releases. And
Yeah.
2009 to 2012, you actually had some really good movies come out. Um, but like you know, I can't tell you the last time I went to a Walmart or a Target to buy a new movie, and I guess I'm guilty of just relying so much on digital movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, for like
Look,
almost 3 years, I always go to Walmart and just see all the new. It was every single Tuesday. I'd buy like four movies every Tuesday, and my collection was huge. I had probably about 400 or 500 DVDs at one point.
yeah. And I remember you were telling me about that, bro, that you had that you used to have a big stack of movies. And man, I can tell you when's the last time I bought a movie. Today.
Well, what'd you get?
So I got Good Boy, the new movie that just came out. I think it was like it came out last
And,
year about a
and
dog.
and and see, you know what? It's so hard to know what movies, like new movies, like you're saying Good Boy. And they got
Yeah,
so many movies that are out that are out right now. You know, with all the streaming services, it's just so hard to know the movie you're talking about unless you're, talking about Goat, the Steph Curry cartoon movie. But they got so many movies that are out right now that, like, chances are you might not know the movie. Like Good Boy, I don't think I've ever heard of that movie, and I
yeah.
blame that a lot on just it's oversaturated with just movies. Like it's not like back in the day you only had like 4 or 5 movies in the theaters and that was it. That
That
was
was
it.
it exactly. I remember. Yep. There's an abundant of movies coming out, bro. Like so much. Like for example, I just bought Marty Supreme and with Timothy Chalamet. I got a whole bunch of stack of movies that I bought recently. I did a TikTok haul recently. Like there's so much movies that I bought. For example, like I got uh I got the Marty Supreme on on day 24. That's
Mm-hmm.
a what do you call it? That's a boutique label. So now they have boutique labels. There's so many labels out there, bro, that
Oh yeah.
that these companies buy the rights for the movie so they can have, these cool and and this is the evolution, bro. Physical media has been like the physical media has like upgrade big time. Like for example, A24 has these little box sets. Like is you have artwork on the CD. They give you these cool cards, bro. Like this is why I love physical media. They give you these cool cards for like about the movie. Before you watch it, you're like you just go in there, you're like, oh shoot, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And it's just like there's like you said, there's abundant of movies that's like out right now that people that don't collect, they don't know what's out. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
what
see,
day it comes out.
I've actually been on a big movie kick the past couple of days. I get so busy with life, and actually, between October and June, I barely watch any movies because I'm watching NBA basketball every night from like
Yeah,
October to June.
I see the Space Jam shirt you got.
Yeah, this year marks 30 years of Space
Yeah,
Jam, which is insane. Which is
insane.
insane. But yeah, I've actually watched a couple movies the past couple weeks. Um it's crazy because my son lately has been like, every Friday, let's watch a movie. So we watched Cocaine Bear, which
Oh,
which was actually more entertaining than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be this dumb movie. And look, the plot of the movie, the actual story of the movie wasn't really good, but just the it was funny. I thought it was a
it's
hilarious
fun.
movie.
Like when you're watching a movie like that, bro. Because I've seen this movie twice.
Mhm.
That's how good it was for me. It like you said, the plot of the movie made no sense, but you have a blast with it because just the stuff that happens in there. Like come
Oh
on,
yeah. Yeah, movies like that, like The Expendables, like the three Expendables movies. Like if you just don't pay attention to the plot and just watch the action, it's actually a really fun movie to watch. It's
it
like
really is.
Piranha. They had a Piranha 3D that came out like I think 2010. Horrible movie. Like
Oh yeah,
the story is garbage, but if you watch it for what it's worth, it's actually hilarious. The other movie I just recently watched. I don't know if you've ever watched it. If you've never watched it, you have to watch it the next time you have, and you can watch it with family. It's a rated
lay with me.
R. It's a rated R movie, but it's mainly rated R for like somewhat a gore. But it's
Yeah,
not as it's not as bad as what people may think. It's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I've never seen that one. Oh wait,
It's so
no, I've never seen that
the
movie.
movie is about two friends. They're hillbillies, and they go up to the woods to they bought a cabin, and these
Hmm.
college kids are going to camp in the woods. Where the college kids think that Tucker and Dale are these evil hillbillies, and Tucker and Dale think that the college students are trying to destroy their camp, and it's a hilarious movie.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
hilarious. Yeah, I
What's
never
another?
seen it, bro.
Dude, if you haven't seen it, you have to get it on DVD. You have to. It's a great
I,
great movie.
I'm gonna keep that in mind, bro. It's
That
because
that
this weekend I'm actually gonna go movie hunting, so I'm gonna keep that one in mind.
But another thing I used to do at Walmart, whenever I wouldn't go on Tuesdays for the new releases, I'd go to
Yeah.
that $5 bin,
Yes.
and I'd be
Yes.
like, you know what? I got $20. I'm gonna get me 4 movies, and I just dig my hand deep in
Bro.
and just dig around, and
Scatter in the
you would get lucky if you pull out like a three DVD set, like
combo back, combo pack.
combo pack. You'd have like
Yeah.
Anchorman, Old School, and some other Will Ferrell
Yes.
movie. Like you get lucky if you got 3 DVDs and like for $5. But that's what I do. I just dig my hand in there instead of just like looking around. I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just dig deep and like you might pull out Dumbo or something, but like
Mm.
I used to do that.
Let me tell you something, man. When you're saying about the $5 bin, I remember a long time ago, man. I told my pops, I was like, "Hey, Dad, can you take me to Walmart? Because even when I was little, I was still collecting. Because back then, when I was young, there wasn't Blu-rays out. The Blu-rays and the Blu-rays, Steelbooks, 4Ks. Those weren't out yet. So when I told my pops, I was like, "Hey, pops, take me to Walmart, man. Let's go to Walmart. Let me build our movie collection, because we had one together. So that's one thing that means a lot to me too. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I we both went. We're scattering, and I'm a big Ray Liotta fan.
Oh,
Leonardo
dude.
DiCaprio.
I'm like the
Yeah.
least
Yep.
I'm like the least Titanic fan. I can't stand it. Like Titanic is not a good movie to me.
Look, let me tell you, bro. When you're saying that movie, and no one judge me, but that movie, I can watch it right now, and I watched it when I was little. I watched it when I was a teenager. I watched it when I was a grown ass. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse in
Oh
here,
no, oh no,
but
no, you curse. Look, we're
okay,
good.
cool. I was a grown ass man, bro.
Yeah.
That movie literally makes me cry like a damn baby, bro.
So let me tell you a funny story about Titanic. I was in 8th grade when it came out.
Hmm.
It came out the winter of 8th grade because I remember we had a pre-Christmas dance for the 8th grade, 7th and 8th graders, and it was right before school let out for Christmas break. And I was
Yeah.
dancing with this girl that I like. I don't know what song it was, but we were dancing. And I
Oh,
went to Catholic school, so you gotta have like the 2 foot space, and you're like rocking your
yeah.
head. And
Uniform.
I asked her, I'm like, hey, you want to go see Titanic when school's out? And she's like, yeah, that's awesome. So
What?
this is 1997.
Yeah.
I'm 14 years old. So I'm going on my first date. I fin- I finally got a girl, that wants to go to a movie with me. She's going to
That's crazy.
Titanic with me. Well, she calls me the day that we're going. Like we had planned to go like on a Thursday or Friday, and she calls me right before we're supposed to meet up. She's like, "Hey, can my friend come with us?" And I'm like,
Ah,
sure, sure. I'm sure that's fine. Well, I'm not going to tell her no.
yeah, of course.
So we get to the movies, and you're young, and they have certain scenes in the movies. Like she's like, pay me like one of your French whores, and then they have like the scene in
Yeah.
the Model T Ford, and like you're fucking
Uh-huh.
14 years old, and you're with a 14-year-old girl. So
Yeah.
after the movie, while I'm waiting for my mom to pick me up, and her parents pull up, I look at
Mhm.
her and I say. Hey,
Dude, say it, bro.
would you like to be my girlfriend? And she was like, oh, I think we should just be friends. And I'm like,
Uh,
oh,
After Titanic, you're
after
telling me
Titanic.
no,
But then again, I should have known when she asked me if her friend could go.
friend.
But so
Man,
maybe that's why I don't like Titanic.
that sucks, bro. Literally, like I just took you to go watch Titanic, and now you're
Right?
turning me down.
When that movie came out, when the movie finished playing in the theater and it was available at Blockbuster, this was before DVDs.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
was not beginning of '98. Because the movie came out
VHS.
at the end of '97, and when it came out on VHS. But the movie was so long that it couldn't be on one VHS. So
Yeah.
Titanic came on two. VHS
Oh,
tapes.
two.
And,
Oh,
and
okay.
me, and me, I like the second VHS tape because that's when like the ship it gets hit by the iceberg, and you get to
When
miss
shit
all
breaks down,
you get to miss all the lovey-dovey stuff.
the lovey-dovey part.
You
Yeah,
get to watch the chaos.
yeah,
But
the chaos.
my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie, and I know a lot of people would agree with me. I know everyone has their own favorite. Out of all the movies that are based on true
Yeah,
stories, I'm going to tell you one of my
okay.
favorite, Blow with Johnny Depp. Dude, that movie is
Blow right
phenomenal.
there.
Every time that movie would come on TV, I would stop what I'm doing and watch that movie from
Great,
start to
bro.
finish. If I turn on the TV, every time I turn on the TV,
So good.
and if it was like halfway through the movie, I won't watch it at all because that's a movie that you have to watch from start
No,
to
bro,
finish.
you have to watch this movie from start to finish. This is you're making me
Oh,
want to watch
so
this movie
good, so
tonight, bro.
good.
This movie is so good.
But they don't make they don't make the movies like they used to. And I
I
know
know
that
where you're
makes me
going
sound
to,
like a
bro.
boomer, like, oh, back in my
No,
day they made better movies,
no.
but I really think they did. I really think they did.
You're 1000% accurate, bro, because you don't see movies like
Mm-hmm.
like for example, Blow. You don't see movies like that. You don't see movies like Goodfellas,
Well, not
You
only
don't
that, but
see
I
movies
think it was
man, there's so
1987 or
many, bro.
1989. It's one of those years. It was an odd year, not like 1988 or 86, but like it was in the late 80s. And at one point,
Yeah.
you had Predator, Full Metal Jacket, I think RoboCop. Like you had a bunch of movies that
Ooh,
were out at the same time, and you
RoboCop,
just don't have that anymore. I think the only movie that's out in the theater right now
bro.
that I really want to see is the new Mario movie.
Yep, yep. And like the crazy thing talking about Mario, I really want to go watch that movie. My I was at work one time and just recently, literally the day when it came out or the next day it came out, my wife texted me, "Hey, I'm taking the kids to go watch Mario Galaxy. I'm at work and
Yeah, what the
I ain't
hell?
gonna go."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Jeez, man, I know." No, but they had a
Mm-hmm.
blast though. My son's a big Mario mark. He loves Mario.
Ah,
So
yeah.
he loves Bowser. That's his favorite. So, and my daughter loves Princess Peach. So they had a blast
Okay.
with that, man. For anyone who wants to go collect physical media, I'm gonna just put it out there. Barnes and Nobles has sales, with, their for example,
Oh yeah.
Paramount, they have a sale of 30% off. They have 50% off on Criterion. So I bought this one at Barnes and Nobles for 30%.
The big screen is actually starting to become obsolete right now. Like, it's just movies, theaters aren't like they used to be. And I
Yeah,
sound like an old man, like, oh, back in my day. One of the things I don't like about the movie industry right now is that, like, instead of coming up with new ideas, what they do is refurbish old ideas. And you have like remakes, or you'll
refurbish.
have like
Old idea.
a
Yeah.
prequel come out like 20 years after the original one. Like they have a new Toy Story movie coming out. They have a new Toy Story. I think it's what Toy Story 6 or 5 or
I
something.
know.
And I'm like, how does that make sense? Because at
Toy
the
Story
end of
5
the last one, didn't they separated? So
separated.
and it's like how does Woody
Yeah, they did.
and Bo Peep come back? And I just and then I saw a picture of
Exactly.
Woody without his hat, and Woody and he has a bald spot. I'm like,
Yeah,
come
and
on.
he's bald.
I'm like, come on, Disney, come
Yeah,
on.
he has bald spot. I know, bro. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Toy Story 4 I loved, but we're talking about, they should have
Three,
ended it
they
in
should
Toy
have,
Story
but you
3.
know what? But Disney
They
came
should have
out
just
with
stopped it right
Toy
there.
Story Land at MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios, not MGM, Hollywood Studios. They
Okay.
came out part of the theme park. They have Toy Story Land, so it's easy for Toy Story to make a ton of
Yeah,
money,
yeah, yeah.
or it's easy for Disney to make a ton of money off Toy Story, and
Oh yeah.
it's such an um easy franchise just to make a new movie. I think the new movie from Toy Story, I think the main character of the movie is like an iPod or like some kind of handheld device. And it's like
Tablet.
but you're
Yeah.
right that
That's the bad guy.
Toy Story 3 when Andy's driving off after he dropped the box off to the little girl,
Yes.
it should have ended right there. Should have ended right there.
The way Woody went out and saw Andy leave, his best friend said, "So long, partner." That was the way to go.
But see, for me,
That was the way to go, bro.
I'm very critical of like sequels, and so like if the first movie of anything, if the first movie to
Oh, me
any
too, bro.
franchise is phenomenal, like Hangover 1, great movie. Um Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a
Oh,
great
bro.
movie. The Secret of the Ooze was a good movie, but
Yes.
that first Ninja Turtle movie was
It was.
good.
It was. Yeah, yeah.
Anchorman, they should have never made it Anchorman 2.
Masterpiece.
But I'm gonna tell you what,
Oh
and when
man,
I
that's a
tell you
good.
this, you're gonna be like, "Wow, I'm never gonna watch that movie the same way." So for anyone who's watching this episode, I'm
Tell me,
about to
bro.
fuck up your childhood. So the the first Mighty Ducks
Oh
movie
shit.
was awesome. I love the Mighty Ducks movie. That first one, you know, Coach Bomb Coach Bombay, they win the Pee Wee
That one was
Hockey
perfect.
League. They freaking win the Pee Wee Hockey League. So let me give you the rundown
Yeah.
of what happened on D2. All right. So Coach Bombay is in the minor leagues. He's a minor league hockey player, and he suffers a career-ending injury. He blows out his knee or something, and he can't play hockey anymore. So he goes back to Minneapolis, and he works at the local hockey store. He's working with the old man, and the Goodwill Games is coming up in Los Angeles, which is funny because you have a winter sport competition in one of the hottest parts of the country, which is funny in itself. So the
Yeah.
CEO or the president of Hendrix Hockey comes to the hockey store, looks at Coach Bombay, and he's like, "Hey, look, you were the head coach of the Pee Wee hockey team. I want you to coach Team USA." And Gordon Bombay, he's not going to turn that down. He's like, I can't. I'm not a hockey player anymore. I'm,
No, he's not.
being head coach of Team USA
Yeah.
beats being cashier at this hockey store. So he takes it upon himself to go to Charlie's house, and he has the duck call. He's like, and Charlie pops his head out the window. Okay, and
Uh-huh.
Coach Bombay tells Charlie, round up the ducks. So Charlie gets his rollerblades on. He goes through town. He rounds up all the Mighty Ducks, and they go to the hockey rink. And the CEO of Hendrix Hockey is like, "Hey, dude, what are all these kids doing? We already have a team built for it." And Coach Bombay is like, "Oops, oops." So you would think you would think that Hendrix Hockey would have like these great players. So they have this one speed skater who can't stop. So they have that. They have a figure skater from like China or something that's never played hockey. They have this cowboy, he has a lasso, and it's such a goofiest movie. In the middle of the movie, the kids go out into the streets and they play pickup hockey game with Keenan from Keenan and Kel. And Charlie goes back to Coach Bombay's office. He's like, "Hey, look, we've met this kid on the streets. Can he be on Team USA?" And freaking Coach Bombay's like, "Yeah, sure. Put a jersey on him." And then they beat Iceland. They beat the greatest team in the
Wow.
world. And it's like, this movie doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's the worst movie ever. It should have never been made. Never been made.
It don't make sense to be a part of to be a
The
second
first one is
movie
so good.
because the first one
The first one is
that's
so
the way
good.
it should have just stayed.
But I'm
That's
gonna
the way it should have just stayed. Yeah. That one is so. But when you're saying about the second one, I've never seen. I've seen it, but
watch it
now
as
you
an
saying it,
adult
I was like, wow.
and watch it in a way that the movie just doesn't make sense. The movie doesn't make sense. Hendrix Hockey
Wow.
hired a Pee Wee hockey coach to be the head coach. And the thing is, he
Coach,
only coached one season in Pee Wee
Ju-
hockey.
that's
Not only
crazy.
that, but
You don't do
he
that, bro.
Coach Bombay rounded up all the Ducks that were on his Pee Wee hockey team to play for Team USA. So you're telling me that the Mighty
That's
Ducks were the
crazy.
greatest, were the best that Team USA could get? You're telling me that there was no other
That's
hockey players that were
insane.
better in this entire country. Um,
Better than
but
those guys.
so,
That's
anyways,
crazy.
I'm
Who would
going to
have
wrap
thought?
this up about 5 minutes. How what was the start of
Okay.
that big collection that you have behind you? Like, I'm sure I remember when before you had that big
Oh,
collection.
bro.
Before you had that big collection, you just had a very when your live streams, it was just like this. It almost looked like just a small cabinet. You didn't have that back there.
Oh, bro, it was actually in the hallway. That's where I had my movies. That's where I had my movies, and I hated it there. I hated it there. But that was that's all I had. I
Mm-hmm.
was, I was very grateful for it. But just this right here, man. Let me sh- let me tell
Okay.
you how it all started. So I met my wife. I met my wife back in 2016, and one of these days, um, we didn't have internet because we just
Mm-hmm.
moved in 2017. We had no internet. We were freshly inside our apartment, had no internet, and we're just so bored, man. We, we had our phones, but like, watching the little screen. So my wife literally told me, hey baby, do you wanna go to Walmart and go to the $5 bin?" I was like, heck yeah, I do. So we drove to our local Walmart, and we just grabbed a whole bunch of movies, and that's how it all started. It was DVDs. And then it came in,
Mm-hmm.
and I started going into Blu-rays. That's when, and I got into the steel books. I got into the 4Ks, 4Ks, boutique labels. I went from there to here. My wife,
Mm-hmm.
she knew I wanted some big shelves, and she just looking through Marketplace, and she's like, "Look, hey baby, look, I found some shelves for free." I was like, "Oh shoot, really? They're in great condition."
So Caesar, your TikTok is Caesar movie collection. Caesar's movie collection. Caesar, Caesar movie addict.
Yes.
Everybody, go find him on TikTok. He does these live streams late at night. I love it because like whenever I'm working overnight shift and I'm sitting at my desk and I don't have anything going on, I love hopping on there and seeing the movies that people are saying, "Hey, this movie, this movie." I've been following this guy right here ever since he had maybe 5 followers. This guy is a good dude. Go follow him on
Yeah.
TikTok. I'm gonna put your TikTok tag on this video. So anyway, Caesar, hey brother, thank you for coming on.
That's fine,
It's
bro.
great talking to you. And you have a great night. Okay.
Bro, it was amazing talking to you, bro. Thank you for inviting me to your
Oh yeah.
podcast.